Okay, so I had quite a severe, I would say severe pain in my right leg, which first of all I couldn't walk, just really was quite sort of restricting. So a friend of mine said, you need to go and see a physio. So I looked up physio and there you were, so I came in here, explained my situation, had the massage on my lower leg, which first of all I thought, it hasn't really done much, but by day 2, coming on to day 3, I had no pain in my leg. It more or less gone, which was fabulous. And then when I came back for an assessment, went ahead and booked the course with you, which was the best idea I've ever had. Thank you very much. So I came back and then I've got pain in my hip, I have a pain in my back, to the point where it was almost like I was walking completely lopsided, hobbling one foot to the other. But just to fill a long story now, that's more or less, still a little bit, but more or less that has gone. My pain is 99% gone. The odd bit here and there, but I think that's to be expected with the issues that I have, but more or less all gone. The pain I had from, 3 months, less than 3 months ago, it's gone. Fabulous. I went to physio, an NHS physio before, which was fine, but it's once every 6 weeks. They ask you to do exercises, which unfortunately when you're in that much pain, you just tell yourself you can't do them, so they don't really get done to the extent that you need them to be done. So when I came to WDC, when I came to you, the fact that you're more hands-on, more patient, I think is the word, and more tuition going on of what I need to do to keep myself going is probably the better option for me. I know there's money involved, obviously, nobody can do the money, but for me it was the best investment because it's so much more hands-on, it's so much more learning and then realising what's wrong with me. A lot of the time the other physio that I've been to, even though he's lifted my leg up, and that's fine when somebody lifts my leg up, I can't do it myself. So when I'm at home I can't get my leg to rise or go or whatever, because I don't feel I've got the strength in it, or I feel I can't do it. So once I can't do it, I won't do it. That's the problem. When I'm here, because you encourage me and almost teach me how to do it step by step, and again with the massages in between to release that muscle, whatever it is that you're doing, it just makes it so much more easier. And when I get home, I'm not struggling to do them, and after 3 I think I can't do it. I carry on doing it. So it might be, I might not do it for 20 minutes every time, but if I do it sort of 3 times a day for 5 minutes, that's what I try and do. My physio's lovely. As I said, when I first came and I went home and I spoke to my husband, I said, oh my God, she's like a pocket rocket. I said, she's just, I don't know what she does, but she does. I said, and she's just amazing. She's so, and I'm not just saying it, but she's so patient. She doesn't really moan at me. She lets me sort of yabber on through my physio because sometimes the pain is there and she's getting into whatever she's doing, and I'm just incessantly chatting about something or other that I don't know what I'm talking about. And bless her, she just engages with me. She does. She just literally just engages and carries on and encourages me, and and never really makes me feel awkward, never makes me feel self-conscious, even when I've had to have a pair of shorts on, which hasn't happened for years. She's never made me feel self-conscious. She's never sort of looked at me awkwardly or anything like that. And even when I'm not doing things probably the right way, exactly that she wants me to do them, she just encourages me to move over to the left or just push that to the, whatever way it might be. So yeah, Vaish's lovely. If I could, I'd take her home. I'd put her in my pocket and away we go. The treatment room is nice. Treatment's fine, absolutely. I don't know what more you can say really. The bed is comfy enough. She whatever she does. They're absolutely fine. The treatment room is fine. When you first come here, your name's on the board. It makes you feel like they're actually knowing that you're turning up, rather than you're sitting there. And even though you might be, that they might be sort of a couple of minutes behind, or you're a couple of minutes early, you don't feel that you're not expected, because when you walk in, every time you walk in, they know your name, which is unusual, because sometimes you walk in the second appointment, people go hello and they don't really know who you are. But even on the second appointment, to be fair, probably the first, but the second appointment, they already call you by name, which is really nice. And they're always really chatty. Girls in reception are always really chatty, and they ask about you, which is nice, but not invasively, if that makes sense. Just a little bit of a chat here and there. It's quite nice. Yeah, I was sceptical, only because of the physio I had before with the NHS, and I thought, I don't know. I mean, I've never been to a physio that's hands-on. I've only ever been to an NHS physio where they sort of, you know, ask you to step up things and, you know, do whatever. So the fact that I came here, and then I would say probably, I would be honest with you, it probably took me a good 5 or 6 appointments to actually believe that things were changing. Even then, halfway through, I was thinking, oh, I don't know. But as you know, after the first month, 6 weeks, definitely, I just felt more relaxed here. I didn't feel on edge come in. I didn't feel judged come in, anything like that. So yeah, so I would definitely say it's a much better experience for me than the NHS, because I think well, obviously you're paying for the time, but I just think that the information that I'm giving or getting is far more than what I was getting from the NHS. I was given a piece of paper and away I went, whereas here it's just more informed, I think, which, you know, information is more, isn't it? The more information you have, the more you understand what you should be doing and why you should be doing it. Whereas with the NHS, it was more come back in 6 weeks and carry on doing these, and I was kind of left to my own devices. And as I said earlier, if I feel I can't do it in my head, I'm not going to put myself through it, because I feel the pain might be more. Though in my head I know, logically, the more I go through it, the less pain I will have, but it's that initial pushing myself through it. Whereas with yourself, it was more, you can do it and it will make it better. And, you know, but then you've always got the backup of you massaging a certain area that needs that work done at that time, because every week, every month is a different ache and pain, whatever it might be. So the fact that you were focusing on one area and I was working on that area, it just made everything sort of fit more into place. Yeah, I had got given exercises, getting little emails through with different exercises and things like that. They were just different the way before, because they were more manageable, I think. Whereas before I was asked to do certain exercises, and whereas my hip that was the issue, the exercises, rightly or wrongly, were focused on the hip, but because my hip was painful, I felt I couldn't get them or do them, or even want to do them, because the hip was so painful. But with you, when the exercise you've given me and the things that I've been doing, even though at the time some of them to start with were painful, they were still manageable, and they weren't, you know, I didn't need sort of every kind of gym equipment under the sun to do them. It was just a chair, or it was just the floor, or it was just a mat. So in that respect, that the exercise you gave me were more manageable, I think, than just reading off a bit of paper, because we'd done them you know, in front of the mirror and seen which, you know, where I was going wrong in one exercise, and you moving me across to, you know, to the right stance, whatever it might be. That made it easier for me to do it at home, because I knew in my mind what I was looking at. Whereas on a bit of paper, I've got a person with one leg here and I've got a person with one leg there, and it doesn't really, I don't know how far I'm supposed to go with that exercise. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, the fact that you can tell me I can go lower or I can go higher or whatever on a piece of paper, I'm not really knowing how far I should or can't go. So in that respect, I think the exercises were far easier to follow, and because I was informed on how far I can go, I went that way. Overall, when I first came, I'm not really, can't really say that I would be, you know, very demonstrative of saying, like, go to physio. I'm very much, I think maybe it's an upbringing thing. You just get through it, you just carry on, and then, you know, go to the doctor and they can refer you, that's all well and good. So when I came here, it was, without sounding awful, it was a last resort. I thought, I've got to do something, because I literally cannot get from here to here without, you know, grabbing onto something to hold me up. So it was a last resort. Now, I would say that if I had my way and I was a bit more educated in that regard, I would have come maybe 10 years ago. I think it's something that maybe people should be educated in, that they shouldn't leave it till something happens. They should really maintain things earlier on in life. When everything is where it should be, then maintain that to keep it where it wants to be. But at the moment now, I'm paying for past I don't know what the word is, but I'm just paying for something I haven't done in the past. Basically, I should have done it earlier. But like everything, you put it off. But now that I've been to physio, I would A, recommend physio, and B, I would say a good 95% would think about doing it again if I had an issue. But not to say that, you know, it wouldn't be a thing that you could do maybe once every 3 months, every quarter, just to do something like that, just to sort of, you know, like top yourself up, really. The thing I enjoyed the most, Vash, was our chats. Our chats in the room. Well, there was more me chatting than you chatting, but it was the chats we had, the little conversations we had, me yabbering on to you about incessantly nothing interesting whatsoever. But also, aside from that, it was just coming in and knowing that when I left, I was going to be that little bit better than I was when I walked in. Because the amount of times I walked in and said, oh, this hurts or that hurts, and I'd walk out within hours, I'd be relieved of that issue. And then I'd concentrate obviously on the exercise or whatever we were doing, and that issue would just dissipate. It would just go, and then, you know, carrying on. But yeah, I think the thing that would bring me back would be our chats, if I'm honest. I would say, A, to somebody that has a niggle, has something like that, maybe just go and see a physio. You don't maybe need to do a full 6-month course with them. You just need to go and get an assessment. You just need to maybe focus on that area, because then if that area is just a niggle, you can get that sorted. If there was somebody like me that's left it for the last 10-15 years of not getting anything done to them, I would say the first thing you need to do is go to a physio, because I think that the hands-on makes you feel more that you're getting somewhere as well. I think that's definitely a thing. You're more one-to-one. The hands-on and the education makes you feel like you're moving on, because otherwise you do get this definitely get this thing of, oh, it's just me, I'll carry on, it's absolutely fine. But it's not until you get something sorted that you realise, I needn't have carried on with that, and I should have just done that at the time. So as much as it's money, you know, we can spend however much we want on a takeaway on a Friday, but we think something else is too expensive. So I think you just got to weigh it up, and maybe just, as human beings, put ourselves first, because otherwise we're no good to anybody else, are we? Hobbling about. I'm very happy, almost sad it's coming to an end, I won't lie to you. Very happy. I might just sort of drop in the street somewhere and so I can come back. But no, very happy, yeah. So everything I wanted to achieve, I feel has been achieved.
Anything else you want to add?
That I love you and need to take you home with me and put you in the spare room, so I've got you on tap. So I can just go, come down, I've got a bad back.